Vidya ma'am, look here. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, look here.
Thank you. Shubham will have to help me with this. There is something for me here.
Wait,
Yeah.
look now.
Hi everyone and congratulations Twinkle. I've enjoyed the bits that I've read. I haven't read the entire book, but I can't wait to read the rest. After Pippi got married, there was a period of 20 odd years when they didn't see each other. She met him again at her Aunt Kusum's funeral. A somber occasion shadowed by the aftermath of emergency and Indira Gandhi's recent electoral defeat. Her father would have been devastated. Nehru had been his idol. Her father had bought their first radio when a neighbor had told him that Nehru's speech as the first Prime Minister of India would be broadcast live close to midnight on the 14th of August. Funny tricks her mind played these days. It wandered like a dog let off the leash, sniffing out and chewing on whatever it found. Desiccated corn cobs and dead birds, Nehru, Pippi, her father, Indira. Like how Pippi had come to offer condolences. They were both in their 40s by then. There was a softness to the edge of his chin, the line of his shoulders. He looked prosperous and content as he stood amidst a group of men, all in white kurtas. He looked in her direction, distantly at first, and then his eyes steadied as he recognized her. It was a hushed conversation, Pippi keeping his voice down like the others in the room. Questions, the kind you ask acquaintances about jobs and relatives. Then he asked if she still lived on Tilak Road. She told him that after her father had passed away, she had taken a teaching job at a boarding school in Panchgani. She would be in Bombay for the summer break and then would return to Panchgani. He said work brought him to Bombay often and asked if he could come and have tea with her the following Tuesday. He arrived 2 hours late, with the air of conviviality that he always carried with him. The train had been delayed, he said, offering her a newspaper-wrapped package as an apology. It was the first time he brought her vada pav from the station, a tradition that would last for over 4 decades. Madhura never told him that she didn't like pav. She had just a few pictures of them together. People usually took photographs on their holidays, but they'd never been on one. It had largely been the two of them, spending time at her flat and occasionally going for long drives into the race course. Perhaps she wasn't as comfortable as Pippi about lying to people about their relationship, or she'd simply been content. But over the years, Madhura slowly cut herself off from neighbors and friends. Her life had revolved around her students and classes, and during the holidays, Pippi. When she retired from teaching, it had only been Pippi. Her fingers were twitching again, as if she were trying to fan herself with the Polaroid she had picked up from the bed. It had been taken on her 50th birthday. Her hair was in a bun, with a rose tucked incongruously behind her ear. Pippi, with his characteristic smile that didn't curve at the ends, but lit up his face in a horizontal line, sat opposite her, his grey hair pushed away from his broad forehead. Even by Pippi's standard, it was an extravagant meal at Sea Rock Hotel's revolving restaurant. The restaurant rotated on a conveyor belt, A carousel where tables and chairs laden with Chinese dishes replaced rocking horses. They timed it, Pippi and her. The restaurant took exactly 36 minutes to complete a circuit. Madhura was used to roadside eateries where food was placed on large steel plates and napkins were a rarity. She only ordered one dish, vegetable spring rolls, partly because the rotating motion of the restaurant made her stomach feel queasy, and also because of the extravagant prices printed on the menu. She felt out of place in her plain sari and kolhapuri sandals, sitting beside the wealthy and famous red printed chiffons. When she told Pippi this, he plucked a rose from the bud vase on their table. He broke the stem and tucked the flower into her hair. He told her she looked like the famous Doordarshan newsreader, Salma Sultan. Among the waiters carrying platters of chicken Manchurian and American chop suey, a photographer with a Polaroid camera stopped at tables and offered to take pictures of the guests. Pippi called out to him. "Take a nice picture of us," he said, and then in a louder voice, as if he thought he owed the man an explanation, as well as anyone else watching them, he added, "It's my cousin's birthday." He told her that the first revolving restaurant was not this one in Bombay, as the newspapers claim, but in his Surat. However, the food is better here, he added. Madhura wondered if he had gone there with his wife, if he had tucked roses into her hair too. In the beginning, there had been guilt and even a sense of shame about his marital status. She didn't know if it had disappeared over time or she had just blocked it out. She once asked Pippi if anyone questioned him about their relationship. He hesitated at first and then said, "My son brought it up. Now don't feel bad, but I had to say these things. I just told him that Madhura Ben is related to us and she's all by herself. I go to meet her because I feel bad for her." Though she knew Pippi would deny it, she felt that his decision to sometimes bring Raju to Bombay was more than about exposing him to a wider world beyond Surat as he claimed. It was also calculated to deflect any suspicions his family, especially his wife Malti, may have had. Pippi rarely mentioned his wife or spoke. Pippi rarely mentioned his wife or spoke about his life in Surat. In a way, living in two different cities made it easier, not just for Pippi, but for her as well. She could pretend that when he left her flat, he simply disappeared into the ether. Sea Rock Hotel was gone. It never recovered from the terrorist blast of 1993. It stood there, an empty shell, shattered glass panes facing the sea, the facade crumbling away until it was razed to the ground 2 decades later. Thank you.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you very, very much.